Okay, there's quite a few different ways of doing this question. I'm going to do this with a tree diagram, but you don't need to use a tree diagram for this question. I just find it a lot easier. So we're going to first of all understand that when you take two tiles, you can't take two tiles. You take one and then another one. Okay, so move away from this idea of being able to take two. You can't. You take one and then you take another one. So the first pick can either be an 8, a 10, or an 11. So it's an 8, a 10, or an 11. And then the next pick, well, if you pick an 8, you can pick another 8, a 10, or an 11. If you pick a 10, you can only ever pick an 8 or an 11, because there's only one 10. And then 11, you can pick any of the three again. Okay, so with 8, you can pick another 8, 10, 11. With a 10, you can pick an 8 and 11, and that's 8, 10, and 11. Okay, now the most important thing we realise is let's work out which outcomes will end up with the second tile. Okay, and we should probably label this. This is the first tile, and this is the second tile. So which outcomes end up with her having a larger second tile? Well, this outcome here, 8 and then 10, 8 and then 11 will. If you pick a 10, then you can pick an 11, and that's larger. And if you pick an 11, you can't get a larger second tile. So there's three outcomes you can get with this, with the second tile being larger: 8 and 10, 8 and 11, and 10 and 11. Okay, next we need to work out the probabilities. Well, all of the first probabilities are going to be 1 out of 7, because there's 7 tiles. Okay, so the chance of picking 8 is 2 out of 7, because obviously there's 2 8s. 1 out of 7 for 10, and then 4 out of 7 for 11. Okay, next, if you picked an 8, then there's only 6 left, and there's 1 10. So that's going to be 1 over 6. And I'm only going to be working out the fractions of the ones I'm interested in. So 8 and then 11. So if you picked an 8, there's still 4 11s left, but there's only 6 tiles. And finally, if you pick a 10, then there are 4 11s still, and there's 6 in total. Now, we work out the probabilities by multiplying the lines we went down. So let's have a look and see what lines we're going down for the first one. So we're going 2 over 7, and then 1 over 6. So it's going to be 2 over 7 times 1 over 6, times the tops times the bottoms. Okay, next line, we're going to do same line down here, but this time we go down here. So it's going to be 2 over 7, but this times 1 over 4 over 6. So that's going to be 8 over 42. And the final line, we go down the 10, and then we go down the 11. So it's going to be 1 over 7 times 4 over 6, which is going to be 4 over 42. Now, whenever we've got multiple outcomes, and it can either be this one, or this one, or this one, we add them together. Okay, so the probability is 2 over 42 plus 8 over 42 plus 4 over 42. So 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 4 is 14, so it'd be 14 over 42. And if you cancel that down, 14 over 42, you can half top and bottom, half top and bottom, and then I think you can divide them by 7, so you get 1/3. So the answer is 1/3 chance.